Hey guys, let's get more news about Miami Heat, but first, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave a like. Recap/analysis: Hornets overcome 17-point deficit to beat Heat. Miles Bridges scored 35 points to lead the Charlotte Hornets to a comeback win over the Miami Heat, 105-102. The Heat have been terrible offensively of late, so of course the Hornets let them get hot early for 14 really quick points in about 4 minutes. They ended up allowing 34 first-quarter points to a bad offensive team. Andrew Wiggins bullied his way to 12 of those, and the Heat led by 13 after 1. The poor defense carried into the second quarter as the Hornets fell behind by as many as 17. They started to get the hang of the zone the Heat had been in all game and started climbing back into the game. Miles Bridges served as the main catalyst for the run. By halftime, the Hornets had gotten within 6. Both teams struggled to start the second half. The Hornets only scored 2 points in the first 4 minutes, but the Heat didn't do much better. A timeout seemed to be the much-needed antidote, as it was immediately followed by 2 threes and a behind-the-back dime from LaMelo to Mark Williams. Williams made a couple more buckets to put the Hornets ahead and force a Heat timeout. Miami responded with their own little run and ended the third quarter up 4. The Hornets got off to a very poor offensive start to the fourth quarter and fell behind by 11 points with about 7 minutes to play. Mark Williams pushed in a little floater to break the seal, then Malachi Flynn got fouled shooting a 3 and made all the free throws. Bridges tied the game with a step-back 3 over Bam Adebayo. He gave the Hornets the lead with a pump fake and 3 off the dribble after the teams had traded a few buckets, then hit another 3 on the next possession. After a Heat miss, LaMelo found Mark Williams leaking out after contesting a 3, and his dunk but the Hornets up 4 with 20 seconds left. Bam Adebayo made a corner 3, but that was answered by a pair of Bridges free throws. Adebayo got another open look to tie it, this time from the top of the key, but he airballed it. The Hornets couldn't make it an easy win though. Nick Smith Jr. bobbled the inbound pass out of bounds, giving it right back to the Heat. Tyler Herro got a good look at it, but he drew front rim as the final buzzer sounded. The NBA's Southeast Division is struggling. There's still hope for the Hawks, Magic and Heat. This fall will mark the 10th anniversary of the NBA changing its playoff rules and not guaranteeing a division champion a top 4 seed regardless of record. This season's Southeast Division is a good reason why that change was necessary. In NBA history, there's never been a division with a worse 1-loss record than the Southeast this season. Entering Monday, the 5 teams in the Southeast, Atlanta, Orlando, Miami, Charlotte and Washington, had a combined record of 113-200, that winning percentage of .369 set to be the worst of any division ever. The official low bar, for now, is a winning percentage .384 by the Central Division in 1970-71. That was a season where Baltimore won the division at 42-40 and Atlanta, Cincinnati and Cleveland combined to go 84-162. And this is the crazy part about the Southeast: this season, Atlanta, Orlando and Miami seem pretty much like locks for the play-in tournament at this point, meaning 2 of those teams are going to make the playoffs even though none are on pace to finish with a winning record. I don't know division-wise, but I just know it seems in both conferences it's a dogfight, Heat coach Eric Spoelstra said. With the play-in and everything, it's been really good for the league. A lot more teams are competing. The Southeast being the NBA's official battleground division is not a new thing. There won't be a 50-win team from the Southeast this year, that's no surprise, because there's been only one, the 2021-22 Heat, who went 53-29 in the last 10 seasons. Let's put that in some perspective. The Atlantic Division has had 15 teams reach the 50-win mark over the last decade, the Northwest and Pacific have each had 11, the Central and Southwest have each had 9. Boston is on pace to do it for a sixth time in that span. Cleveland has done it 5 including this season already, Golden State has done it 5 and Toronto has 5 such seasons in that span as well. The Southeast? Nope, just the one. Forget winning 50 games. Over the last decade there have been only 17 instances out of 50 chances of a Southeast team simply finishing a regular season with a winning record. And someone's going to have to go on a heck of a tear if a team from the Southeast is going to add to that total this season. That said, there are 3 teams still very much in the race for something. I do feel like having more teams involved can be good, Atlanta coach Quinn Snyder said. I think that distinction between being a playoff team and a play-in team is a little bit murky to me. It's the postseason, in my mind. Charlotte and Washington are headed to the lottery and have been headed there from basically the start of the season. Miami, Atlanta, and Orlando all still have hope of turning this season into something memorable. The Heat went from the play-in to the NBA Finals 2 years ago, which is something that Snyder pointed to as further proof that the play-in is a huge opportunity for teams. The Southeast might end the year with the worst divisional record in NBA history, but there's still a slew for the Hawks, Magic and Heat to play for. We have to fight our way out of this funk, Orlando coach Jamal Mosley said. It's exactly what it is, it's a funk and we've got to fight our way out of it. Because in this league, it can turn fast one way or the other. Heat blockbuster trade proposal would land Kevin Durant. The Miami Heat are currently not viewed as a serious contender in the Eastern Conference. At this point in the season, the Heat hold a 29-34 and are in place for a spot in the play-in tournament. Before the NBA trade deadline this year, Miami ended up trading star wing Jimmy Butler to the Golden State Warriors. It was a move that has left the Heat in need for another star presence to play alongside Bam Adebayo. Looking ahead to the upcoming offseason, Miami could have an intriguing trade option. Could the Heat consider trying to pursue a trade with the Phoenix Suns for Kevin Durant? Ahead of the deadline, there were multiple teams trying to acquire Durant from the Suns. Phoenix decided not to trade him and Durant had no interest in being traded during the middle of the season. There is a lot of speculation that the Suns will revisit trade discussions in the offseason and that Durant would be accepting of a move then. Kevin Pelton of ESPN has suggested a blockbuster trade idea that would send Durant to Miami. Adding Durant would put the Heat back on the radar immediately. In his trade idea, he has Miami creating a package built around Andrew Wiggins and either Jamie Jaquez Jr. or Nikola Jovic. The Heat would also include draft picks in the deal. After the trade, Pelton believes that Miami would be able to lock up Durant long-term. Throughout the course of the 2024-25 NBA season thus far, Durant has averaged 26.9 points per game to go along with 6.1 rebounds, 4.3 assists, and 1.3 blocks. He has shot 52.9% from the floor and 39.9% from the three-point line. Right now, this is just an idea, but Pat Riley will want to put the Heat back on track. Durant would do just that. And you, fan? What do you think about Kevin Durant's situation? Write to us in the comments.